Sometimes the real story isn't the one that's written, but the one behind the writing. Sometimes the creator becomes part of the mystery, and sometimes the author is a ghost that never really existed. This is the story of a man named Fernando Pessoa, sort of, and the strange, dreamlike masterpiece he left behind, the Book of Disquiet. Pessoa was born in Lisbon, Portugal, in 1888. By the age of 5, he had already experienced death twice, first his father, then his younger brother. These early losses carved a shadow into his childhood, one that would stretch across the rest of his life. When his mother remarried, the family moved to South Africa, and young Pessoa was thrust into a new world, new language, new culture. But instead of fading into it, he adapted. He fell in love with English poetry and philosophy. He wrote in English almost as comfortably as in Portuguese. At 17, he returned alone to Lisbon, where he would spend the rest of his life, not as a public figure, but as a man of quiet routines and private obsessions. He died in 1935 at age 47. At the time, barely anyone knew who he was. He had published a few works, none particularly famous. But what Pessoa left behind was more than anyone expected. In an old wooden trunk, hidden away, was a mountain of writing, more than 25,000 pages. Buried in that chaos was something unusual, the Book of Disquiet. It wasn't published until 1982, 47 years after his death. Yes, the same age he was when he died. And the book? It wasn't even signed by Pessoa. It was written by someone else. The name on the manuscript was Bernardo Soares, an assistant bookkeeper from Lisbon. A quiet man, reflective, melancholic. But here's the twist. Bernardo Soares never existed. He was one of many fictional personas Pessoa invented, over 70 in fact. Not just pen names. These were full-blown alter egos, with their own birth dates, personalities, even handwriting. Pessoa called them heteronyms. Some were philosophers, others poets. They disagreed with each other, criticized each other, even wrote essays responding to each other. So who wrote the Book of Disquiet? Pessoa? Soares? Does it even matter? The book itself defies category. It's not a novel, not a diary, not quite poetry either. It's a slow, quiet unraveling of a consciousness, fragmented, non-linear, haunted by questions with no answers. It reads like a man whispering to himself in the dark, reflections on boredom, beauty, the absurdity of effort, the tragedy of identity. Soares Pessoa writes, "To think is to destroy. I destroy what I see, because I see it too clearly. I see too clearly because I think too much, and what I think replaces what I saw." This is not a book about what happens. It's about what doesn't. It's about the ache beneath the surface of ordinary life. The self, Pessoa suggests, isn't a stable thing. It's not one story. It's not even one voice. It's a collage of masks, fragments, illusions, shifting, contradicting, falling apart just as you try to hold it together. At one point, Soares writes, "I am nothing. I will never be anything. I cannot want to be anything. Apart from that, I have in me all the dreams of the world. It's beautiful. It's terrifying. It's a reminder that our inner lives are far deeper, stranger, and more unknowable than we admit." Pessoa spent his life quietly building a labyrinth of thoughts and selves. And when he died, he left the door open behind him. Not so we could follow, but so we could get lost too.